Hey, man.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. Very good.
This is cool. Okay, hold on.
I have the honor
Make sure everything's okay.
of being here right now.
So, for everyone on YouTube who sees this, this is my first podcast. Let me double check the sound for you guys.
Well, that's timeless.
What was that? That was his work.
Yeah, sorry. He had already sent it like 20 minutes before.
All right.
For 20 minutes already.
Apologies
Yeah,
for
that was
the
bad.
sound. We'll be right back, guys.
All right, and then we'll work fast. We're ready to trade off in moments, so we're good.
For the sound.
Yes. I told him. I just went ahead and forwarded the picture to him as well. So we both have it. But if he has questions, I told him to just text me. Or just, tell me. Ashley.
Oh, whoops. Wrong one. And we're back. Sorry about that, guys.
Classic thing. Yeah.
What was that? Ruining the premiere.
I ruined the
You
premiere.
ruined the premiere. Sound
Goodness,
right.
I planned it. I'm connivingly just trying to.
So, I want to make sure your sound is okay.
Okay.
You're
Oh.
over there. So we're gonna mute this. Sound is okay.
Yeah, it's not too loud. See, now it's going to be quiet for a while. Yeah.
All right.
Over here.
All right. Start talking.
Start talking.
Start talking.
You trading with someone?
I think it's say a sentence. So
Okay. So to kick off this entire process here, we want to really engage all of our the senses around like storytelling or like philosophy.
That sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
The
All right,
topics
we're
that
good.
nobody talks about that we should all really be talking about.
Right. So for everyone seeing this, the sound that was fantastic. By the way,
Well, thank you.
that was fantastic. Actually, that might be too loud if I get that close. So I'm gonna just chill back here.
It
We bumped it. Yeah, I might be a little loud, but so this is my unofficial Twitch podcast, Twitchcast thing.
Yes.
And it's going to be tons of fun. It's going to be random. It's going to be like,
Yeah.
some days you're going to see this guy.
With just enough structure to keep it fun.
It'll be
Solid.
super
Right.
entertaining.
Not so loose where, you're like,
fact.
where the hell are we going with it,
In fact, you should run to the refrigerator and grab us a couple of
Please say it.
Coors Light.
I didn't think
that's what it is.
I would have
I think
asked.
that's what's back there. Yeah. Give us one more moment here, please.
You still have some. Yeah, just me that you got.
Cool. So no structure here. We're just having fun. You can get to know me and whoever is on with me. It's not going to be Dominic every week. This is Dominic, by the way. My name is Zach, also known as Elusive Aura. This is my Twitch channel. This is my podcast. This is my thing that we're making.
World.
This is my world. Welcome and cheers.
We didn't do that right. We were supposed to do that. It was like a reverse cheers where we do it after we take a drink. Try that sometime. So, to kick us off here, Zach, why don't you?
What do we have going today?
So, just a quick.
He's got the notes, everybody. So.
Just a few. I have a few notes. Now, these are we quote movies a lot, so
correct. Yes. So actually, if anybody in the future, the idea is once there are more of you on with the program, meaning people watching as we do this live. I'm going to continue to do this live. Whenever we quote movies, we're going to like somehow find a way to reward people.
We won't say what it's from.
Who say
right?
Yes.
And then whoever guesses the movie right, there will. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Make a little game.
Yeah, a little bright. Should I turn that down?
And because we do that all the time, it'll be like every few minutes or so.
We'll be right back. Cool. I'm going to turn this light off.
I'll be right back.
Tell me how that lighting looks.
I think it's good. Well,
how's that?
Oh, that's good. It makes it a little warmer from this direction.
Yeah. We just want that white light.
Yes.
That's all we want.
Soft light.
All right. Cool. Wow, this is like the podcast that me and Matt never had.
You and I never had. How long were you trying to get that? Because you got this stuff a while ago.
I bought this microphone. Actually, no, I owned this microphone in Nebraska.
Really?
I bought it a long time ago.
That's like over a year ago. Just so everyone knows.
And then I was like, me and Matt were like, let's do a podcast. And so we named it and we did 2 episodes. It was called After Hours.
That's right.
We did 2 episodes and it's still on YouTube.
Yeah.
Really? They were long episodes.
I never saw it.
Yeah.
You gotta show me a little bit.
No, and then like halfway through our camera died on the first one. So I took remember how cool, like how much you liked my iPhone's camera? Loved the camera.
Way better than mine.
And I just took a picture of our bamboo plant and I just put that in for the rest of it and I wrote After Hours over it.
That's right.
It's so dumb because I didn't want a black screen. So I at least did something.
It is impossible to kill bamboo, right?
Yes.
But somehow you guys managed it.
Well, we didn't water it for like 6 months.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, anyways. So, yes. Where was I with this?
I was talking about movies, Well, that too.
Movies. Now, what is the rule for this?
The rule.
Starting.
Oh, okay. We cannot say the...
Right now.
You want to do that one?
Let's do something a little easier.
Okay. We were going to say you can't say the word the, but for starters, that would be a little... That would be really weird.
Difficult. We've never tried this before.
Never tried it before. So let's see. I know some people who did something where they couldn't say the letter E in anything they said. And every time they did, they died in their video game.
That's worse.
That'd be worse.
Let's do an easier word. Easier word.
What's not as common as and?
And?
That's not as common as that, is it?
Let's go and.
Let's go and, because we say as well, in addition to.
So, beginning now, we cannot say and anymore.
You can't say the A word.
We can't say
no
that word. Yeah.
No,
now, and you can't even be like the A word.
You can't even.
So.
Oh, okay.
All right, so what's up?
Oh, your bars.
What's our topic?
First order of business. So, I just had a question for you. Kind of let people know you anyway, if they're interested. And the people who would listen to this would be interested in this anyway, because that's your vibe, that's your brand. I'm going to say, now this also kind of lets you know the insides of a person's mind as well. Do you find the protagonist or antagonist more interesting as a character?
Just in general,
not like. Okay, like who you value the journey of more, I know there's a lot of emphasis now in the story of the antagonist. Before, it was just 2D comic book villains, but now they're actually really starting to flesh out both sides' journey.
Right. Like it used to be the antagonist was like a faceless.
Well, yeah, and they showed more story for the protagonist because that was the main character. But I still think it was just as 2D because it was all just black and white, and it was like, oh, good triumphs over evil. But now, what I really like is they're showing the good guys struggle with how they're going to overcome this bad guys struggle with really meaning well, but doing it the wrong way. You know,
Right.
like you can't like unless you're a total psychopath, you're not going to say I'm such a bad person. I'm doing this to harm people. You're doing this. You may be harming people, but
think it's a good thing.
Right. It's because there's a greater reason for it. Like you're saving the world, or you're bringing more peace. It's a necessary evil, and you may see it as evil,
right?
But you're still doing it as a problem. So yeah. Anyway, that was your question.
Or it's you're like a fallen being as well. Like some people have convinced themselves that, like some people lie so much that they just are evil people, but it's because of it was a long journey. It wasn't like somebody decided to be evil. It was like they get caught up in a million lies because their whole life they've been telling lies and now they're telling
and it's
lies.
just a habit.
Right. And so there is that type of evil too, which is more traditional, but technically it's still there's still like root. I don't know. I would say
that is really interesting.
Are you talking movies in general or books or
just story in general? But I guess beyond movies, narrow it down a little bit.
Movies. I don't watch a ton of movies. I will say that, which is weird.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I would say probably for just the same reason, antagonists, because it's harder to pull off and there's less attention given to it.
Yeah.
Even though nowadays more is given to it.
Yeah. And
I would say that's more interesting.
Yes.
Like if your villain sucks, I'm probably not going to like the movie.
Yeah, no, same. Because, and I know the history. So take a comic book villain. You know, I'm gonna blow up this city or poison everyone because I'm a bad guy. Haha. You know.
Right.
Where now, or in real life, like the bad guy sees you how you see the bad guy. You know. Mm. So you're trying to stop the bad guy because he's this evil guy on a horse, you know, with a sword who's killing people. And but you're at war, you know, and they see you as an evil guy on a horse waving a sword, killing people, but you're both fighting for what you think is right. The problem is they're already at that point of actually killing people. But like the way they see the good guys and bad guys see each other is, and without getting complicated into like relativism or strict morality or either or, you know, without doing that.
Let's not go to that level.
Yeah, that's like
just today. Like we can do that. We will do that another time, possibly. But today, no.
Yeah, I
mean, today
because it's hard for the good guy because the bad guy is the good guy in their head, and vice versa. Right. So I don't know. I'm just saying it's kind of hard and it's harder in real life to identify. Strictly good versus evil. Whereas if it's like a comic book, you obviously know the ugly guy with the big nose with the bomb is the bad guy.
So are you saying evil is your favorite as well? Or antagonist?
I would say, okay, for me it's even because now, because like protagonists were just as boring because they were just
good.
They were just good for the sake of being good. Yeah. Now, you got to give your characters reasons to choose what they choose,
right?
And sometimes going against what they're used to in order to bring about something great. So, yeah, I'd say it's a balance for me, you know, simply because to me, every character is created equal. It's what you do with them that makes them go up or down,
right?
So I'm interested in what makes them tick, you know, and that's where they'll go from there, but from the get-go, I'm like, well, I want to know the inner workings and what makes them do what they do.
Right.
You know? So I would say both.
Both sides.
Simply because if you're a character, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, what are you going to do?
And it's also like, it's like hard to say too, because it's like whichever one is more interesting is who I like.
Right.
Like who's being more creative. It's probably easier to be creative with antagonists now because protagonists are more explored, generally speaking.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe that's why I said antagonist, but in general, it's just which one's more interesting in this story.
Yeah.
Which one was more creative?
Yeah, and I think giving
had a better motivation that was more intricate or more believable or more.
Yeah,
that to me.
Yeah, because like giving the antagonist a compelling reason, getting the audience to almost not condone. But empathize with the bad guy because you're not condoning what they're doing, but you can understand why. It's kind of like Game of Thrones for me.
Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of characters who you would never do what they do, but you understand why they do it,
right?
Because they're so hurt or because they feel what they feel.
So do you like protagonists and antagonists, or do you like morally gray characters? Generally, like, because you're a big Lord of the Rings fan,
right? Which
is definitely good versus evil.
That's more emotional because as a kid I was like,
right, sure. Same with me.
Yeah.
But I don't think Lord of the Rings is bad.
No. I would never think that. I would never.
But you would think it if somebody showed you that it was bad.
I would never think it was bad. I would see some flaws because, nothing's perfect. But
yeah.
I would never.
My opinion of Lord of the Rings has certainly faltered over the years, but I still think it is very good.
Okay.
Generally, though, because like the movies were very good because of when they came out.
Yeah.
They were
they were
okay, I'm going to mess that up. Cinematics.
Yeah.
Cinematically was amazing. So, but at the same time, story beat wise, I want to rewatch the whole thing. I fell asleep when we were watching, but that was because I was tired. It wasn't because the movie, I wasn't enjoying it. We need to finish the trilogy.
We do.
We need to.
Not seen. We only recently watched the first half of Fellowship. Because this guy hasn't seen the full extended trilogy.
No.
He's seen scenes online, but that's not the same. So
look at that.
You got to make sure you. We got a comment. Yeah.
Tavia, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Some of the things Lord of the Rings did behind the scenes to get those cinematics without just going lazy CGI overhaul are pretty interesting.
Which is something The Hobbit didn't do. They totally chose to go the easy route.
Right. And I don't even think CGI was really good enough at that time.
What was cool was because
there was so much practical effects. Like I saw some you
practical effects with a little bit of CGI is beautiful.
Right. You definitely know.
Or orcs. It just looks so real. Because they were.
Did you see the video? I'm sure you've seen this, so you could probably explain this to me. Mm-hmm. But the way they did the shots to show that the hobbits were shorter. Yeah. Like they created it.
So creative.
Optical illusion.
Yeah. That's what she says.
Yeah. CGI is never ideal. It's just cheap and easy to produce. Okay. Wait, I don't remember what director said it, but somebody said if you can go practical, you should always go practical. What about in the future? I'm curious. What do you think about in the future, like when the technology is even better? Because even nowadays, there's some crazy good CGI that you could never really pull off. Now, I'm not saying Godzilla vs. Kong is a good movie, because it's not. It's an awful movie.
It's a horrible movie.
But you can never pull that off looking that good. With practical effects.
Purely with practical. I think there's a channel called Corridor Crew, and they're filmmakers, they're professional. They do work for some pretty big companies, and they combine it, like they do CGI, but they don't do it 100% either way. Like they don't take Azog from The Hobbit and then take Lurtz from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And you tell me which one's more scary, obviously, I'm kidding. Obviously, it's Lurtz. Obviously,
you can't. It's not even a comparison,
right? But so taking the part you can't do practically, you can't make Godzilla to scale in a city practically. Right?
No,
but you can obviously do a lot of practical things to combine it, make a beautiful marriage, to make it more real Yeah, you for sure need some CGI at some points. This is the point I'm making. CGI is sometimes the best thing to do. It's not always the best thing to do. Right. And you could argue that it's most of the time it's not. I think as the years progress though, look at the new Star Wars movies. Mm-hmm. Granted, awful movies again, but the CGI, you can't do that with practical effects. Right. Hey Tavia, thank you. Am I saying your name right? Tavia Memories. Tavia.
We appreciate the comment. Depends on what kind of technology, right? Because we can talk all day about improving graphics, but do you know we have direct brain interface in the works? I did know that. Elon Musk is doing that. We should talk about that, by the way.
I don't know anything about that. That sounds kind of cool.
Tech that will send fake sensory information to your brain and allow your brain itself to generate truer than life graphics to interact with, as well as directly intaking motion controls via thought. It's currently, as far as I'm aware, intended and patented for video games, but I'm sure if it's successful, it'll be widespread for media creation. Yes. What did you say there about, as well as motion controls? That's already a thing with prosthetics.
Yeah. So that is actually really cool because they're coming out with these AI humans, these robots that are hyper realistic, and to the naked eye, they look just like humans. But then they start to talk.
It's creepy.
In your brain, there's certain minute details in the human face that your brain knows that we don't objectively realize that we know. But we can tell that the face is totally fake once they move, because then our eyes pick up all these things that are missing.
Yeah, there's a term for that too.
Yeah, and it's going to unlock all these new regions of the brain or whatever. It's just like we didn't know before that we could see that much detail. Because if you were a droid, you might look like totally like you.
Yeah.
But when you start talking,
and they think
I'd be able to tell.
I've heard that there's like theories about why we can detect it so well. And one of it was like, this is just vague memory and I don't know where I saw this, but it was like, we can tell when something's off with somebody because usually that means they're sick. Like mentally or physically or something. So like when you see a picture, there's a term for it, I'm pretty sure. When you see a picture of a human, but it's fake, but it's meant to look really real, it actually becomes really freaky.
Yeah. There's a thing in our brain, which is why kids are afraid of like freaky mannequins.
Yes, mannequins,
and puppets. You know, puppets. Every kid. I mean, at least I was. I knew a lot of kids who were that way too. They were kind of like slightly just put made uneasy by humanoid things or whatever.
Right.
Because your brain is like, that looks like a human, but it's not, and it's tripping me out. It's like,
it's really cool, but it's also really scary, right? Not just for the sake of psychological damage and the inability to determine what is real anymore, but also if you think Google is spying through your internet browser, it is. Imagine when they have direct access to your brain. Yeah. So, okay. If
the people who know how to work this stuff are basically going to end up on top because we don't know how to work this.
If you were 90 years old and you were dying tomorrow, and they said you could implant a chip into your brain that would stop it from decaying, and it would give you like hyper speed, like access to the internet, but without having a phone, would you do it?
Okay, if I'm gonna die tomorrow, I'd give it a shot, just cause.
I think Elon Musk is going to do that.
Okay, that's the thing. You know what's kind of cool and really freaky at the same time? Because then whoever's actually alive in charge of the switch could terminate us at any moment. If this were to happen, people are already talking about immortal life, not in the aspect of life in the body, but like uploading your brain to the cloud and living forever. Like your conscience.
But would you be you? It's like, have you ever heard about like teleportation? When they try and figure out how that could actually work, they're like, essentially what could happen is an exact copy down to the atom, not down to like individual cells or little pieces, like atoms.
The atom, the clone,
is exactly put in the new place. Would that be you? I don't think it would. And here's why it wouldn't be you, even though it would essentially be you, is because you don't necessarily have to kill the thing that's going through the portal. So you'd have two of you, and you can't be both. So that would be two years with the exact same memories. And so whoever was born on the other end of the portal would think that they're you. They would literally be born there and be like, yeah, I made it through the portal just fine.
It's crazy. Here, this is something new.
It'd be like two versions of you. Yeah. What you're referring to is called the uncanny valley. It is the sense of unnerve when in the presence of something that is humanoid, but clearly not human. I've heard that before. Have you heard that before?
I think so,
valley?
Yeah. Uncanny Valley.
Thank you for that. That is what it is, I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty smart.
It is the sense of unnerve when in the presence of something that is humanoid, but clearly not human. is a protective mechanic. The brain has to identify that although this object or creature looks friendly on the surface, we shouldn't trust it by default, but be suspicious for your own safety. Or in short, fear the unknown. Exactly. That sounds like some Jordan Peterson.
That does.
Right there. Fear the unknown.
Yeah.
Have you read?
A little bit.
You know a little bit about him.
Yeah, I've listened to some of his talks for sure.
Hey, thank you for that. So much. You're like Jamie right there. That was coming in the clutch with the Uncanny Valley. Joe Rogan, his internet person who looks up things for him.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah.
His name is Jamie. Yeah, I don't watch it that much, but I know.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
That was clutch. Thank you.
Yeah. So, like, if you were, speaking of copy and paste, or like if cloning, if you were to say copy and paste some text on the screen and then paste it, would it be the same text? So you're saying, like, because of like cloning and stuff, it's the same thing, but it's not because it exists at the same time.
It's
that
basically
goes into, like, the laws of time, you know, because like if you exist at the same time, can you exist at all? Like, can that same person be you? Right. But what if you were in a different time? Would it still be you? Yeah,
Tavia, I think you're right about the Uncanny Valley. I'm pretty sure it refers to just anything, dolls and puppets and robotics and.
Well, yeah, I mean, because like it's humanoid in general. Like, would trigger that, I think.
The most we have is genetic cloning to reproduce a copy of something with the same starting values. Right.
Right. So not like a.
You couldn't create. Well, you couldn't create me. We can create.
We can create the physical embodiment of you, but the whole.
Yeah, I don't know.
Conscience part.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this.
It's not physical.
Let me ask you this.
We can't replicate.
Because I was talking with Trey about this. And so my opinion was, in the future, I think we're going to see when it becomes possible to clone like meat, so you no longer have to kill chickens and cows and stuff. I imagine that, like, say it's 2080, a bunch of people are going to be like, oh, no way, we can't kill chickens and cows anymore. There's going to be a mass exodus from eating real meat that was actually slaughtered because it's inhumane and disgusting. It is disgusting.
Well, the way they do it is gross.
It's awful. And I imagine there will be this huge mass exodus and it'll be this booming industry because, look, it's literally a normal chicken, but without having to kill it.
Right.
Nothing had to die and you get a chicken wing.
Right.
Because all we did was grow the wing, and there's nothing there to suffer.
And your body's not like, it's not like GMO food.
Right.
Where it is actually organic chicken, and your body's like processing it just like healthy chicken.
So he was saying he didn't think that there would be a mass exodus because he didn't think people would care. And I was like, no, I totally imagine it's
because you get to the point, and there's people I know who are like this, where you get to the point where if you're so against the other side that even if they say something that makes sense objectively, you can't believe it because it's from the other side.
Right.
You know? So if I were to say something that makes total sense, but you don't agree with me, then it'd be harder for that person to accept what I said, even though it was objectively true. Because not everything someone says is about the issue you disagree with them on, you know?
Right.
So it's like...
Right.
Yeah, so...
with all that.
Yeah, with all that. It's...
I feel like we should go a little less deep here.
Okay, we'll pull out.
Let's go with the left hook now.
Left hook.
Left hook.
Okay, now, what key elements do you think are important in a story? Like, let's say that there's like 10 elements to pick from, but it's like a game show and you have to pick 2.
Right.
Okay? And you have to make your best story possible. It's going to suck because you only have 2 of the 10, but what were the first 2 you would pick?
Okay, I'm going to respond to Tavia real quick, and then I'm going to get to that. Okay? All right, cool. She sent... I think it's a she.
Let us know.
I think Tavia is a girl name.
Yeah.
Is that a girl name? Okay.
Well...
I believe.
If it's not...
If we're wrong...
If it's not, don't be upset.
Yeah,
it's
if we're wrong...
name.
Yeah, if we're wrong, sorry about that. That's just what I'm imagining, but I could be totally wrong. I can create you in the sense that it will have the same nature values, but different nurture values. Yes. Okay. Though an unethical, fucked up science experiment done with twins a long time ago determined that nurture actually doesn't mean much, your fundamental drift towards certain interests and hobbies seem to be a biological thing determined by your DNA. To say that if you're interested in the arts, if I were to clone you, your clone would likely at some point also pick up artistic hobbies. That is super, super interesting, and here's why. Yes, thank you. This is a very intelligent person.
Very intelligent.
Watching. Yeah.
He should have
I was talking with, yeah, for real. Yeah, give me a follow, and we'll see if we can make it happen. Who knows? I was talking with a few people, and I always tell this story about, there's no way I haven't told you this at some point. But when I was like 5 years old, my mom took me to the library, and she just let me walk around this huge library by myself, and I was 5, so I was like, whoa, this is so cool. There's like 1 million books. And I would look at them, and I was too young to even read, so I just looked at pictures. And I happened down this, one of the, what is it called in the library? Row?
Aisle. Yes.
I wandered down one of the aisles, and I picked up this book that was a space book. And by the end of that day at the library, I had picked up a stack of books that was probably this big, no joke, of space books. All of them were space. And it was because I was blown away by the fact that there were other planets. Like, I was 5 years old, and I was like, wait, the moon is just one of those, like, you see the moon at night, and I was like, the moon's just one, and there's this one, and they're all way out there.
That's really cute.
And for the longest time, for the longest time, I was like, is this because, did I like fall in love and become interested in outer space because I happened upon those books? Or was it because there's something innate inside of me that I was just always like, yeah, like I was just doomed to be a nerd. Like, was I doomed to be a nerd no matter what? Like, even if I hadn't found those space books, was I going to be 10 years old and see a picture of Mars and be like, yo, that's sick, and then just buy a bunch of space books anyways?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've wondered that for so long. Yeah. And I've talked to people about it, and everyone's always like, I don't know, because I think the same thing about, like, cello or whatever their interest is.
Right, whatever your main interest is,
So yes, you are correct. I am a huge nerd.
Space nerd.
Huge space nerd.
Proud space nerd.
And space is literally everything, to quote Rick and Morty. Which I shouldn't do. Why am I quoting Rick and Morty?
You ashamed?
I'm not ashamed of liking Rick and Morty. I don't want to be a part of that fan base.
Right.
It's just notorious.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure how seriously the study should be taken, considering the conductor refused to comment on the results directly.
Oh, they did.
Are you talking about this previous paragraph? Let's see here. Do you know, Tom? This one?
I think so, because they said there was a study.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like nurture has to have a pretty big... I mean, speaking from anecdotally speaking, like, clearly there are things that I like that I would not like. Like, I grew up liking football.
Right.
Like, it's a fact that like, that's just an easy observation. Like, your family's main sport was what?
Baseball.
Right. How many kids in your family like baseball? Just the number. 3?
All of them, but 3 played, yeah.
3 played, all right.
I mean, we all liked it, but...
Right, but that was the primary sport, and that was a parental thing. Like, that was passed down.
It was fostered.
Clearly. It would have possibly been soccer if that was the sport.
Right, if that was the sport.
Right, and
like Lord of the Rings, you know? Like,
exactly.
Who knows? Yeah. Like, I probably would have found it and liked it, obviously, because those movies are so my vibe.
Right.
But as a kid,
Maybe not.
It was it was, you got to be a certain age before you can watch it. So I put it on a pedestal at like 6 years old. You had to be 11. I wouldn't do that.
You know, a similar one.
You had to be 11, and I was like, I can't wait till I'm 11. Then I get to see Lord of the Rings, and then when I saw it, it was a dream come true. So it was just enhanced, you know.
You know what that version for me was? I can't believe we've never talked about this in that way.
Have we never?
For me, it was Halo.
Oh!
We couldn't play Halo.
That explains why you love it so much.
Yeah, we couldn't play Halo for years. We would play Battlefront. And we were like, yeah, in Halo, you can pick up weapons off the ground. And we were like, what? Like, you can pick up weapons off the ground? Like, when you kill somebody, you can pick up their weapon. Because all we played was Battlefront. Yeah. And we were like, that is insane. And not only that, but when they die, they just fall, like, in random poses. They don't, like, fall in a pose, like in Battlefront. And we were like, no way. And then we finally got Halo, and we were like, what? This is insane.
It was new, and it was exciting. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like nurture has to play a big part. Even though nature, like, we can't clearly, I could never be an NFL athlete.
I think
just if I chose.
It's like everything else in life.
I mean, maybe I could.
A little bit of both, I think.
Right.
Like
50-50, maybe.
Right. Nurture's obviously some of it, but nature obviously is another big part of it, you know? Right.
That's probably due to the legal repercussions of intentionally separating children. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's like there's so many things we could discover if we could just be like immoral.
Right. If we did horrible
with our
things,
science,
we could figure out things a lot faster.
Right.
That's horrible to say. I do not condone that. But hey, as a human race, let's figure out ways to discover those same answers without doing the horrible thing, you know?
Right.
Like let's not do the thing. We can figure out a way to do that. We're smart.
Right.
You know? I have
right. And it's like that person shouldn't have to sacrifice their life or their normal life
and like
for
without
science.
their consent even, you know, like as a kid.
Right.
You know, that's screwed up.
Yeah.
That is beyond screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So we can figure out some answers. It's really hot here.
If I turn that air on, it's going to be really loud.
That's true.
We're going to keep the air off. You're going to be okay.
That's not so bad. I was being dramatic.
I was going to say take your shirt off. Don't do that. Yeah, do not.
Okay. So you got to pick the two elements of the.
Okay. Yeah. Say it again. Sorry.
What key elements do you think are most important in a story? You can do both the two, but what key elements?
That's so hard.
Because we don't know enough about story to really have an influence on it, but we're going to give our opinion.
Yeah, we are very humble. In this journey.
We could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
But
two key elements in the story?
No more than 3.
I feel like it has to be something with like the known versus the unknown to kind of go in a Jordan Peterson direction again. Like there's the Shire that you know.
Yeah.
And then there's something messes it all up. Mm-hmm. And now that's the journey. Mm-hmm. It's just like real life when something really terrible happens and you're like your brain is going crazy and you're stressed and you're anxious. That's because you're in the unknown.
Right.
Like, oh, I didn't think my car was going to die and I can't afford another car.
Right.
Your brain's in the unknown. What is going to happen?
Right.
You don't know. But like right now, we're mostly in the known. Like we're at my place. I mean, this is unknown because we haven't done this that many times.
But not so uncomfortably unknown where we're going to go rogue.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing.
You know, like we're stretching ourselves, but like not.
Yeah.
Just some.
I never thought of it that way.
So I think that is an element.
Yeah.
And then, okay, I'm trying to not be basic. Like I'm trying to get at something here.
Well, yeah, if we did the second one, like in terms of the Shire, I never thought of it like this. Frodo's emotional journey in terms of like, this is so nerdy. In terms of like, what I'm about to say, it's like he has to go destroy this ring now.
Right.
That he didn't choose to pick up. That his uncle brought, but he can't hate his own. He can't hate Bilbo for it because Bilbo had no idea.
Right.
So it's like
it's his responsibility.
I'm so mad at you, but you don't deserve this hate. Not that he ever hated Bilbo, but it's like you didn't know what this was, but you brought it here, so I can't be mad at you. So he probably like I have to be mad at like the person who made it. So that, I don't know, but I never thought of it from that direction before. I was like, so in terms of it, which is actually it's true to life too. It's like, I hate you because you did this. But it's like, did that person have any idea what they were doing? It's like, or were they totally raised that way? You know, where they thought they were being cool.
But at some point,
you know.
But at some point, it has to go to like personal responsibility. Because no matter what, you can go through this infinite regress of, hey, Tavia, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. You can go to this infinite regress of like, I appreciate everyone because everyone is just a product of their experiences.
Right.
In a way it is, it's like, yeah, but
there's some
at some point, you have to take responsibility.
Right. It's like Bilbo still is to blame.
Right.
Know? But it's different where it's there's still blame involved, but you can't necessarily call him a bad guy. You know? Right. So he didn't.
I'm gonna Tavia's on a rampage here.
This is good.
Let's read through these. I'm actually really interested to hear this. I think I would take it in such a way that you have certain default values of interest when you're born. And if and how you decide to pursue that interest is on you. For example, you were talking about the analysis of character writing in LOTR, but in another reality where you were nurtured differently, maybe this Twitch channel would be centered around breaking down the critical writing of hentai animations. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I agree with that, honestly, like pretty much 100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because
obviously,
Lord of the Rings,
right, obviously,
it might have been,
maybe we would never have encountered Lord of the Rings, just by chance.
Yeah.
Right. The number one most important element of storytelling is characters. That was going to be my second thing, but I was trying, that's why I said I'm trying to not be basic. Not that that's basic, but like I felt like that was so obvious that I would be like, why?
Right.
Like, so 100%, it does not matter how intrigued, massive, or interesting the world you've built is. If the characters you're using to let the reader explore that world are boring, it's simply difficult to care.
Right, because the characters are kind of like the eyes of the reader or the audience.
That's why.
They are how they experience the world based on how the characters are in the world, you know. They kind of set the stage for that.
Right. And when you have a story where the reader has to put in active attention into trying to care, you've absolutely failed, obviously. Yes. Totally agree.
Make it easy.
Totally agree. Now, the hard part is making the characters interesting.
Right, that's the hard part. But once you reach that, it's like if you're reading a book or watching a movie and then you don't realize you're watching a movie. There's certain movies that I've seen
where you just forget.
Where you forget you're watching a movie.
Yes.
You're so invested, and then you wake up at the end of the movie and you're like, wow, like you've forgotten. You literally, that's what movies are for. That's why people love them. Like they're a vehicle to see
and to get out of reality.
Escapism, not in the true sense of the word, but a little bit, you know.
And to learn, like I feel like art in general and movies and books, escapism is the wrong way to look at it to me because I'm like, really? That's how sad of the world we live in? We're just trying to escape?
Yeah.
For me, it's like it should grate works of art and music and movies and books and anything else that would fall in that category. I would put great video games in there as well. Sometimes they elevate your way of seeing the world because they illustrate things about the world that you can't put into words. Or at least haven't been put into words yet.
Right. And a different view. Like, there's a different view of seeing the world in an awesomely positive way. Where you're like, I never thought of it like that. And it's really inspiring, and you end up, benefiting for it,
Right. Hey, Tavia, I have a question for you, actually. Hoping I didn't miss anything here. Yeah. So that moment when you finish bringing a 64-episode anime, and now you have to figure out what to do with the rest of your life. Yeah. Hey, what is your favorite anime? Because I just watched my first anime ever.
Me too.
2 days ago, except he didn't finish it quite. He's going to finish it.
Yeah.
What is your favorite anime? And for like a beginner, like, okay, yeah, what's your favorite all time? But also like for a beginner, somebody who's very new to anime, not really sure what it is entirely.
How to watch it?
Like, what's the best way to get into it? How to watch it is a good way to put it, honestly.
It's just,
So while she's thinking and typing. What else do we got? It's already 7:22. I don't know when we started this, but time is at least flying. I think we're gonna go
because I just got a message from someone that I messaged an hour ago, and that was before we started.
Yeah. So. I think we're gonna probably go until like 7:30. No, we can go a little longer than that. We'll see what else. How many more things you got on that list?
Got one more question for you.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Cool.
But it could expound to something.
Let's hear it. That's fine.
Now,
I mean, we can go till 8.
I realized how I would answer this question, and the question's kind of obsolete based on what we've already said.
Right.
Your favorite genre of story?
That's so tough. I really don't.
Because in my mind, a genre doesn't matter provided the story is doing what it should be, like incredibly engaging.
I'm inclined to say sci-fi.
Yeah.
But sci-fi can be so bad.
Yeah,
too, though.
exactly.
Like, I don't like Star Wars really that much. I like the original trilogy of Star Wars. And that's not me just saying that. Like, it's genuinely like a good story. But if it's a good story, it's like, it's a good story regardless. You need to watch, we need to go on a Quentin Tarantino rampage.
I love the way he does it. Like, I don't like the way, I would never make a movie like he does. But I like the different way I like watching his different way of doing it and presenting it. So I'm like, I want to see how he does this because it's really engaging.
Right.
I would never replicate it, but I love how he does it. So it's like,
we need to watch like The Hateful Eight. I watched The Hateful Eight. Let's watch a new one that neither of us. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. We should watch one that neither of us has seen.
Django Unchained.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look up the whole catalog and see which one. I also haven't seen Kill Bill. I'm pretty sure that's his most famous one. I don't know for sure though. All right, let's see here. Depends on what you're really asking me. Do you genuinely want to know what I'm interested in, or are you looking for what you should look into? Because Dragon Ball Z is extremely popular, but personally I don't like it because I think although it does great with its action scenes, it has some real critical errors in its plot. But that doesn't mean people can't enjoy it, right? So it highly depends on what you are interested in if you're asking for suggestions. Trying to say you'll love Dragon Ball Z if you're looking to zone out and watch some flashing light and bangs, that's not what I'm looking for. I want like good story.
Quality.
Really quality. But if you're, in the fields, definitely. But if you're looking for drama, emotion, and interesting writing that can be analyzed and have a long-lasting effect, it probably won't do much for you. Really? Anime just in general won't do much?
I think it's like Dragon Ball Z.
Or Dragon Ball Z. Oh, yeah, maybe Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I messed that up. So, yeah, emotional, dramatic, interesting writing that can be analyzed. That's what I would go into anime wanting. Right. Yeah, I'm not really interested in expensive action scenes, honestly. In any genre, really. Yeah. Even like war movies and like Star Wars and stuff like
some guy he equated it to the opera is seen by so many, like by me too, kind of as like just really boring. But like it's like they're always singing or musicals. No, it wasn't the opera. Sorry, it was musicals.
Right.
But like there's so many songs. It's like the musicals. The songs told the story, but like fight scenes need to tell the story too. They're like song sequences.
Exactly.
Which is why they're breaking down like Star Wars fight scenes, like Revenge of the Sith, where it starts out great,
it's telling
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But after a while, they're fighting for such a long time, nothing's happening until the very end, in the fight scene at least. So
the story is happening during the fight elsewhere.
Yeah. So they're saying you need think like Amon Hen, Lord of the Rings, beautiful scene, story's happening. Frodo's running away. The Fellowship's break. It's the literal representation of the Fellowship breaking apart.
Yes.
Boromir redemption. Hobbit's taken. Aragorn trying to keep everything together. So it's beautiful, right? It's telling the story. So basically,
Mines of Moria as well.
Right. Like it's
sacrificing.
It's telling the story with the fight scene instead of just doing it for brain stimulation just to keep the audience engaged.
Right.
Which it's really not doing.
Think or to feel.
Oh, feel.
I would say feel, honestly.
And then think about how you're feeling later.
Yeah. Feel first. I'm interested in thinking as well, but feel probably. I think feel is a better way to get into anime, yeah. Like if I'm like, oh, that was really impactful.
Right. Emotions, yeah, they're better.
Then
they're better.
Then I'll be more invested and be like, all right, now I can take on something a bit heavier. Yeah. Yeah, let's go with feel. I like that. Yeah. Do we got anything else there?
Those are my 3.
Dude, do you know what we totally didn't do?
What did we not do?
We didn't not say and.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
I did too.
I wonder how many times we've said it.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think Tavy was here yet.
Yeah.
Either way, that was a ton of fun. We're not done yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave here shortly, but not done yet.
Yeah. I think like in terms of
I love the title, dude.
Oh, it was mine. That was data mining.
No, that was the notification. The title is Elusivora and Co. present the Unofficial Twitchcast episode 1 featuring my friend.
Featuring my friend. Aw. Yeah.
How's it feel to be on the pilot? This is the pilot.
Hey, you know what? Within
Tavia, you as well.
Within a while, like give it a few years, and once you're huge, and I'll be like, I was on the pilot.
Yeah.
And I'll tell people, like, you know that you heard that podcast? Hey, I was on the pilot. They'll be like, no way. I'll be like, look it up.
Yeah. Wild. The live podcast.
Yeah.
The live podcast right here. Super fun, super cool. Tavia, while you're thinking about that, just want to let you know before we go, you'll probably see me over the next few months streaming Halo Combat Evolved. Well, actually, just the Halo series. I'm trying to complete it. I won't have the camera on for that, and I haven't. I'm trying to complete the campaigns before Halo Infinite comes out. But also on this Twitch channel, I'm going to be doing tons of other games. We'll be doing podcasts. What else am I going to do? Try not to laugh challenges. We tried to do one the other night. It didn't really work.
Games, but like you put a spin on the game.
Tons of left hooks.
Like you can't say the word "the" while you're playing a game. And
right.
If you do, you have to restart the level.
Or movie lines. Tons of left hooks.
That'll be really hard for you.
Tons of curveballs.
You have to play the level, but you can't say movie line the whole level.
Oh, jeez.
And if you do, you got to restart.
So yeah, just letting you know, kind of the direction of this channel at this point. I appreciate you. We appreciate you very much. You might not see Dominic on the next podcast. Who knows? Maybe he'll be here. Yeah. You'll see some other faces as well. Tune in, though, and tell your friends. I appreciate it a ton. Appreciate it a bunch. Not even a ton, a bunch. Like tons. Unquantifiable. That was good. There's no better word for that.
Unfathomable. There, I just did it. Sorry, I have to restart.
What did you... Quantifiable is a better word.
Good word.
But just so you're aware
go.
that is the direction. So when you see me streaming a bunch of Halo without my camera on, just know that's not the end-all be-all of this channel. We're just getting started here. Just getting started.
Darn it.
All right, let me see. No, I didn't.
There's more to it.
What is that from?
National Treasure.
Oh. Free real estate. All right. Okay, then we line up pretty well. My favorite anime of all time is... Oh, I'm going to butcher that name. I'm not even going to try and say that.
Wait, is it Japanese?
I am not going to try and say that.
Himita Hano no name o Bokutachi wa mada shiranai.
Oh, they said don't even try to pronounce it.
Well, how did I do? 1 out of 5.
He loves languages, so you couldn't stop him. He's trying to learn like 18 million language. Yeah, there's another movie line.
Oh my gosh.
In English, it's Anohana, the flower we saw that day. It is a drama anime following a group of 6 friends learning and growing after the death of their close friend Miko Hamna. When they were children. One day when our protagonist, Jinta, I think it's Jinta, I might be messing all this up, but I'm trying, is playing video games, the spirit of Mako appears to Jinta with a wish, but she isn't sure what that wish exactly is. But what she does know for sure is that to grant her final wish, it will require getting all 6 of the friends together again to mend those wounds and finally say goodbye properly. This anime left such an impact on me that me and my girlfriend agreed that if we ever have a female child, we will be naming her after Mako. I hope I'm saying that right, Mako. That's really cool.
That is cool.
That's very cool. That's very commendable. Okay, so I don't want to... I'm going to take a picture of that, honestly.
Yeah, because that's a long time. Others want to get it right.
Yeah. I want to get that right before we power down for the night. Let me get that picture. Cool. All right. Any final words? You good? How you feeling?
I'm good.
I'm feeling good. All right.
Yeah.
Tavia, it's such a beautiful show. It is one of the few things in media that made me, as a full-grown adult male, cry like a little baby. Dude, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
If a story can make you do that, that is very impressive.
Those are the
very
stories.
Impressive.
Yeah, I love those stories.
Yeah. So Tavia, we're gonna go for the night. Appreciate you tuning in. Please check back when we're on next. I don't know yet how often I'm gonna be doing these podcasts for. We'll see.
Once you get the pattern going.
Yeah. Check back in though. Appreciate you. All right. Peace out, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Ciao.